Good afternoon, everyone. How are you today? Mike, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, 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 good. So today we're going to do one of our irregular, regular stream yards with no specific timetables, but we're going to go over what we are currently listening to in audiobook and podcast form and what we are currently reading in hard book form. So how would you like to go about doing this, Mike?
Let's do. I don't know if podcasts have changed. Is there anything new you're listening to podcast wise?
Uh, Probably one, but since we haven't done it in a while, I think it's a good idea to just list the main ones we listen to anyway.
All right. Why don't you roll through those?
All right, so I'll
Share.
break. I broke it down to the podcasts into three categories, and then however you broke it down. So the daily podcasts I listen to are Quote of the Day show with Sean Croxton and the Arnold's Pump Club. Those are two that
Okay.
I listen to every day. And in weekly podcasts I listen to is the Healthy Rebellion Radio. And then two of just fun for me is the Phase Zero Comic Book Marvel podcast and Comic Book Nation. Those are just total fun. And then there's six podcasts that I listen to depending on the guest. And those are the Huberman Lab, Ben Greenfield Life, the Tim Ferriss Show, The Human Upgrade with Dave Asprey, Revolution Health Radio with Chris Kresser, and Smarter Not Harder.
Cool. Who's smarter, not harder? By
I it's the people that make transcription, which is a nootropic that I like to use, and I
okay.
forget the main person behind that. I'm sorry, Ted
Got it.
Ted 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 Acho.
Okay.
Forget.
Okay. Cool. One I was not familiar with. Awesome. Podcasts pretty straightforward. Um, Sean Croxton, absolutely for daily. Then Tim Ferriss, Ben Greenfield, Paul Check. Found My Fitness. Let's see, Huberman Lab, The Healthy Rebellion, David Sinclair. That's Lifespan, and Teresa Bullard. She's a PhD. She does a lot of PhD in physics, I believe. And for fun, those are all weekly. And then for fun, The Legend of Cockpunch by Tim Ferriss.
How is that going? Is it good? I
Yeah,
mean, is it?
it's very interesting.
Yeah.
It's similar to, I would say, like a Game of Thrones or something of that nature. So there's a bunch of tribes, and they're all roosters. So pretty interesting.
Um,
Well done.
you you
Entertaining.
meant you mentioned the Tim Ferriss show, and the one that I'm listening to now that's great that I know you listen to is the one with Kelly Starrett. That's amazing.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. And am currently reading his hardcover book.
How is the book? Good.
Book's excellent. Yeah, book's excellent. He Kelly's a good interview. We had him on the first Beyond Your Wildest Dreams. What was it?
Pain Relief Project.
Yeah, Pain Relief Project. Yep.
So now that you mentioned the one book you're reading, why don't you run through the books that you're listening to,
Listening to. Okay, so
or have listened to recently?
Yep. Gary Vaynerchuk, jab, right hook. How to tell your story in a noisy social world. It is, I believe, he did that one before, and this is the updated version. Outlive, that's Peter Attia's book, The Science of Art and Longevity. This one is The Book of Five Rings. It is about Miyamoto Mushi. And he was a master sword maker. Those are the ones. Get Shit Done by Jeff Gitomer. The last two, An Effective Life by Stephen Covey, Activate Your Vagus Nerve, Dr. Naveed Habib. Pretty good. And then How to Grow Your Small Business, a 6-step plan to help your business take off by Donald Miller.
How about any ones that you're physically reading? Do you have any of those books, or is
They're all
those
they're all stacked up in the reading corner. Just haven't had time to get them. But Kelly Starrett is one. The book that you were gifting, what's the name of that one? I have that one on the nightstand.
Got Your Number.
Got Your Number. And then there's a couple of other ones. I don't remember. I think there was a tarot book that I was reading. It was very, very interesting. Cool. What about you?
The last few I've listened to, and I think we mentioned this once before, Never Finished by Dave Goggins, which was great.
Yeah, that was great.
The Bill of Obligations by Richard Haas, which was something my father recommended. It was pretty interesting. And this was very long. It took me a long time to get through. It was Dr. John DeMartini's Ultimate Wealth Mastery Library. It was either 12 to 18 hours of just wealth building and wealth mindset and strategy with John DeMartini. It took me quite a while to get through that. And then the newest one is Entangled Life by Merlin Sheldrake, and that's all about fungi, mushrooms, and all the different forms and all of its different glories. And that one was actually recommended by Chris Kresser about 2 months ago, and I finally get into it now, and it is really, really fascinating. Hardcover books that I'm reading, the same one you mentioned, Got Your Number by Mike Greenberg, which is fun. It's 1 through 100, and it's each sport athlete that is most associated with that number. So number 1 is Ozzie Smith. Number 2 is Derek Jeter, and number 100 is Wilt Chamberlain, and so on and so forth. So interesting. And then the last one is The Triune of Life, Reggie Gold's Philosophical Legacy, and that's a book curated by Simon Senzon, who you're very familiar with, which is it talks about the Triune of Life, which is heavy chiropractic philosophy, and it talks a lot about Reggie Gold's life, who is one of, if not the greatest chiropractor that's ever walked the planet, or top 4, 5, 3, something like that.
Awesome.
Cool. And that wraps it up.
All right.
Please share with us what you're reading, because we're always looking for new and exciting reads, and we'll do this every once in a while just to update you guys. And as always, we're open today 3 to 6, fully staffed.
Bye, guys.
Bye.